Yo, this the kid Big Skunky. I want to address a few things in this video, so please stay tuned to the video and at least hear what I got to say. I want to show you guys something first, and then I'll go into what it is I want to, get across to you, the message that I want to get across to you. I was told that you cannot plant two different varieties of tomatoes together, or should I say, it's not recommended that you do that. Well, this right here that you see is my cherry tomato plant. This one here, I'm letting it grow wild. I'm not doing any trimming on it. I'm not doing any type of different techniques or tricks or anything that you see on any of these other videos where people tell you to pull all of the bottom foliage off once you start seeing fruit production and things like that. The only thing that I do to this plant is come in here down at the bottom where it's getting cluttered. I might thin some of that out, cut some of that stuff off. And the only reason I do that is because having all of that foliage wrapped in together like that, it prevents air circulation and it will cause mold and mildew and things like that in your plants. But I'll show you. Listen, look, right down in there, if you guys can see, those little green things that look like grapes, those are the cherry tomatoes that are actually forming on the tree. And they are everywhere on this tree. Right over here is a beef steak tomato. Let's zoom in on that. You can see them forming as well. And they look beautiful too. Now, I was told that you could not plant these things within close proximity. Right over here, here's more beefsteak tomatoes. Right there. So let me back up so you guys can see how close they actually are. In the middle right there is an apple tree. That's a Honeycrisp apple tree. That's a cherry tomato. That's a beefsteak tomato. Those are grapes, green grapes right there. And that's another beefsteak tomato. And I have them on the other side of here too. Now, the reason why people say that you can't do that or it's not recommended that you plant them so close is because this is what they say now. This is what I'm being told is that you cannot do that because it limits the plants from growing big and strong, or it'll limit your fruit production, meaning that your beefsteak tomatoes won't get as big or your cherry tomatoes won't produce because they're two different varieties and they'll pollinate each other and it just doesn't work. I've heard all kind of things of why this would not work. Well, this is the proof I'm showing you guys that it works. I'm having no problems with this. I want people to know to stop overthinking this. Stop overthinking gardening because what works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. I just want to tell people, man, look, gardening is what you make it. Make it your own. Do it how you want to do it. I have two different tomato varieties back here in this backyard, which are beefsteak tomatoes and cherry tomatoes. And I planted a lot of them. The reason why I done that is because I do what you call tester plants. So if I grow 5 tomato plants, we're gonna eat off of at least 3 of those plants. The other 2 plants, I'm gonna use them to test on them. I'm gonna bend them, I'm gonna break them, I'm gonna feed them this, feed them that, do this, do all these weird things that people say that you should not do to them because I want to push them to the limit to see what I can and cannot do with these plants. And I encourage you guys to do the same. And the reason why I say this is because this way you learn your garden. You learn your battleground. Honestly, everything back here, this yard, yes, we own it, but we technically don't own it. This belongs to the creator up above. All I'm doing and all that you're doing in your garden is beautifying God's creation. That's it. Meaning everything in nature serves a purpose. This stuff is designed to grow like this. It's in its DNA. It's gonna grow the way that it wants to grow. All we can do is hemp it out. And in truth, it really don't need all of that. It will survive just fine in nature where it needs to be, where it loves to be. Learn your backyard or learn your farming ground, learn your gardening ground. Figure out learn what you can do and what you can and cannot do. And stop listening to a lot of people, man. I'm telling you, a lot of people in these videos, this is not to bash anybody in their videos and what they do, but just know this. know that a lot of people are making these videos because they are monetized and they get paid to do this. They get paid to make content and to make videos. And a lot of people run out of content. So they just come up with any little thing and throw it out to the public, and people share it and they post it over here, post it over there. Meanwhile, these people are receiving a check for this and they not even doing this. They wouldn't even dare to do some of the things that they show you in these videos. Let's be clear now, if you're growing on a commercial level, then I understand why you do some of the things that you do. Because it's very difficult to grow on a commercial level when you're trying to produce a big production of a particular fruit or vegetable, and you have supply and demand. You know, you have the grocery stores, you have local restaurants and things like that that's looking for these for this produce every single week or every single month or however they get it from you. So you have to cut corners and do what you have to do to keep your production going. But for us small gardeners and small farmers, let's just be real, most of us just want a pretty garden that we can show off to our friends and our family, and to be able to enjoy the fact that we can go out into our backyard and pick our own fruits and vegetables and save ourselves money by not having to go to the grocery store and buy it. Plus, we know what we grew it with. We know that it's healthy. We know it hasn't been sprayed with any chemicals or anything like that. People, take your time when you're in your garden. Take your time, learn your plants, learn your soil. That's my biggest thing. My main thing has always been feed your soil. Feed your soil, the soil feeds the plant, and then the plant feeds you. Don't put anything into your soil that you wouldn't consume. So feed your soil as if you will feed yourself, because that plant ain't going the plant is not going to do anything but turn around and feed you back. That's the main thing. Look, you feed your soil and let your soil feed the plant. I guarantee you, you will have an abundance of fruit. You will have some of the best fruit that you've ever consumed in your life. And it will be pest resilient. It will be disease and mold resistant. It will. It will naturally fight off pests and diseases itself. This is the way nature created for it to be. These pumpkins right here, they're taking over the yard. The watermelons are taking over the yard. I have to cut around this stuff. People will tell you to suppress the weeds, get rid of the weeds and stuff like that. I get it, but the reality of it, the weeds actually help your plants. That's what they're there for. They actually keep the ground cool in the summertime. They actually retain moisture. Now they will what is it? They will compete for nutrients with your plant. But let's face it, most of the weeds that you see growing in your yard or the grass in your yard, the roots don't go that deep. They don't go that deep. So it's not going to really affect any plant that you put back there that's known to have deep diving roots, such as watermelons, pumpkins, tomatoes, even cannabis, apple trees, things like that, bell peppers and stuff. Those roots go pretty darn deep. So those weeds are not going to hurt that. Now they will draw in a lot of insects and stuff like that, but let's speak about that for a minute. You have beneficial insects and you have bad insects. You have insects that come and feed on the leaves of your plants. Well, you also have things like ladybugs, prayer mantis, wasps, bees, and things like this that come in and eradicate that problem. They feed on those bad bugs. Plus, a lot of stuff have to be pollinated, such as watermelons, pumpkins, and things like that. They have to be pollinated, cucumbers, squash. So those bugs are transferring pollen all over the place. Now you can spray for this stuff, and if you do spray, again, spray stuff that you wouldn't mind getting on your own skin. Don't spray any pesticides. Use stuff like what I did in my last video, well, one of my last videos, which is the garlic, the red onion, the cayenne pepper, and the water, and spray. Use stuff like orange oil. You know what I mean? It's all natural. It comes from orange peels. Now, you may have to apply this stuff a little bit more than you would your synthetic pesticides. And I don't even know if they go together, but you know, your pesticides, chemicals and stuff like that. But hey, it's worth it, especially when you're going to consume this stuff. You get what I'm saying? You smell me?